Hey, Shalom Shalom Mishpoka. Welcome to another edition of Ray Basher's Ramblings, and this is actually the third installment to the Hanukkah series, but I just called it by a different title because I want to talk to you about the heroines of Hanukkah. When people think of Hanukkah, they think of Judah Maccabee and his brothers, and they're all masculine, male heroes, Levitical warriors, but also in the book of Maccabees, there are accounts of two women, both named Hannah. One is Hannah the mother, and the other is Hannah the bride. And then there's also in the apocryphal book Judith, another story that that happens around this time that we're dealing with Hanukkah. Let's start out with the two Hannahs. Hannah the mother had 7 sons, and her and her sons were brought before Antiochus Epiphanes and were commanded to renounce their faith, to renounce their Judaism. They were to recant who they were, their identity, their cultural, their Jewish, their religious identity. And each one of her sons were martyred right in front of the mother's eyes in an attempt to make the mother recant her faith. But the martyrdom of her sons gave strength to her to hold on till the end. What had happened is each son was tortured, was commanded to recant. They all gave a great oratory type speech to Antiochus and their torturers, and basically said, you know what, don't care what you do, you can never make us recant. And they're like, Mama, stay strong, and the mother was saying, son, stay strong. They were encouraging each other. And as a result of this woman and the story of the martyrdom of her sons, gave great strength and resolve to the Jewish people to continue to hold strong and to fight against Antiochus Epiphanes, whether they picked up a sword or whether they were forced into a martyrdom situation. The second Hannah was the bride of Eleazar Maccabee, the brother of Judah. She showed up on her wedding day in her birthday suit, which scandalized and shocked the nation. Everybody was shocked, everybody was offended. They were thinking, how could this Levitical righteous priest marry such a hussy, coming out in the buff and in the nude? And she's like, hold on, hang on a second. You think what I'm doing is shocking? You are embarrassed by my nudity, by my nakedness? Look at yourselves and see what Antiochus has done to you, has done to our nation, has done to our people. You should be more scandalized, more ashamed, more embarrassed of that than you ever would be of me standing before you in the nude. Well, her point was well taken and made, and this gave the Jewish people the strength to fight their first battle against Antiochus and win. Now on to the story of Judith. Judith is the feminized version of the masculine male named Judah, or Yehuda, and she was a hottie. She was like an Esther, a Hadassah. She was gorgeous, very good looking, and Antiochus had a war general named Holofernes. And he besieged her city. Was getting ready to take it over. They were trying to starve him out, thirst him out. Well, Judith and she was a widow. Judith and her handmaid had a plan. They waltzed right in to the enemy camp. They had a bag of kosher food with them. They were always seen with this bag. They were brought before the general, and the general's like, what's the meaning of this? She's like, you know what? I'm defecting because I don't want to be destroyed, because God has shown us that, because of our disobedience to the Torah and against God himself, he's going to hand us over to you. So I want to be on the winning team. So Holofernes invited her to be his guest in the camp. So she stayed there, and under the condition that she provided her own food because it was kosher, and that they were able to leave on a regular basis to go pray. So as time passed by, the soldiers saw her go back and forth with a bag at different times, so it was no big deal. So the night before the big battle, Holofernes wanted to have a feast in Judith's honor. She was the guest of honor, and she was the only guest. Judith brought some very, very salty kosher cheese with her, and she set her plan in motion. His plan was to seduce her. Her plan was to kill him. She fed Holofernes this salty cheese, which made him extremely thirsty, and she gave him as much wine as he wanted to quench his thirst, and as a result, he got sloppy drunk and passed out. So Judith grabbed Holofernes' own sword, cut his head off, put his head in the bag where she usually put the kosher food, waltzed on out, and went back to her city. And by the time that the soldiers found out that their general was dead, she was already presenting the head before the elders of the city and had saved the day. And so these are the heroines of Hanukkah, the heroines who stood up against Antiochus Epiphanes and his general and his army and his people to preserve Judaism, to preserve the Torah, to preserve holiness and righteousness. So hope you enjoyed these little stories. Enjoy the last night of Hanukkah. Shalom and Shavuot Tov Mishpocha. Bye.